Okay, welcome everybody. Hope you're doing good this morning. Yeah, so today, I mean, I was kind of thinking we don't really need to be doing too much on the Bitcoin macro analysis, because this is a scenario that we'd spoken about like for such a long time, and we have finally had that drop into the area of support that we have been looking for. So for myself, it's just I did a quick update this morning. Very much just will trade this range as if it was any other for now, as like day trading, scalp trading range. So we can have a look at locally where the support, resistance, supply, demand, liquidity, all of those kind of things are. But overall, this for me is the a recycle point, in which, I mean, this goes back like probably like 2 months now, where we have been talking about this scenario. And for myself, this was when I had the plan to start spending again, just because it's a deviation from the range at this stage. It is support at this stage. I'm willing to give this a little bit longer to play out, so a few more days or something, see where we are, see if there is some strength from this support that we are at, and yeah, start to look at what other opportunities are out there within the space, do a bit more analysis on kind of exactly why this support is, in my opinion, quite good for now. And yeah, we'll do a bit of that. So just gonna have a look in the chat. I just saw the question from H saying, isn't this too much of an obvious level? I don't think so. I haven't actually seen anyone talking about, like, has anyone else really been talking about this area? I haven't noticed it. I certainly haven't noticed it from the people you don't want to be listening to. And the fact that we identified this must have been April that we started talking about this. It must have been. I think this was even before we came into May, and we were just waiting for the timing of it. And it's, for me, this felt like inevitable that we were going to get some corrective move from the highs that we had here. We knew this would end up being a head and shoulders. We knew that it would end up like we were looking for a move down. But overall, I still feel that the trend is okay at this point. And the 200-day is something that you just simply cannot lose. So even if it is an obvious level, as institutional money, if you start losing that, it's bad. So for me, it just seems like a point that why not risk a little bit here, going back into something. This was the plan. This has been the plan since April, and although it's taken a month, 2 months to actually get there, I'm following what my idea has been, because
I mean, if you made a plan, you have to execute it at some point.
Yeah, and I mean, when it comes to macro,
point, huh?
Yeah, when it comes to like the bigger moves, I can't remember a time where it hasn't played out how we've thought it would. Like, to be completely honest, November lows, bullish, was looking for this. We were looking for like sweep of these lows. We were buying here. Like, remember when we managed to catch that low, like exactly at the bottom, rode it all the way up here. As we took liquidity up at the highs, coming into the POC of this previous range, it just, these bigger moves are not that difficult to get more often than not. Now, obviously, at some point you're not going to get it exactly right, and it will play out differently. I can remember we go back to like 42K back here, where I was thinking this would be a decent area of support. It didn't play out that way, but then you've got your risk managed, and you then have a really good opportunity to get back in again a lot lower down. So it's a similar situation that we've got here on the chart overall. For myself, as I'm playing this plan, it's not often that I'm wrong on it, and I've got to just trust my judgment on that and do it in the way that I think is the most likely scenario. The thing is, like, when it comes to this, yeah, when you look at where things go on the higher time frames, it is obvious. It always is obvious. Trading is, it works. It is technical analysis, and it does work. The problem is most people don't look at this, and they don't plan for this. And then when you have a day like yesterday, they panic. So even if it is obvious, and even if it is too easy, most people will not take the easy option. They will be trying to mess around here, do a load of stupid shit, getting all confused, not sure where the market is going, getting caught up in the FUD, and they won't be executing the way that they had initially planned to do it. So I think that's just a psychological thing. Like, that doesn't mean I'm saying it's certainly not guaranteed. We have areas of support that we're looking for lower, but I am going to follow the plan. And for the next couple of days, I am looking to spend a bit of money here. And look, this is the thing, like, and to be honest, for myself, I was guilty of that somewhat when we came into this. We took the long, it came into that point of interest above 27,600. But because even though we were in the right area and we came into 50% of it, I wanted to see the whole thing hit. And I didn't take the short position, and I missed that move. So I'd be kicking myself if I was to do the same and be like, oh, but it might go lower, and then be too scared to get in. And then we run to 38K or whatever. So when you do the high time frame stuff, it really was that easy. We put these levels on the chart, and look, come into that, and then you come down here. It's, yeah. So that's just the initial thing. Just to go over, yeah, what my plan is at the moment. I want to do a little bit more stuff on some of the other like higher time frame charts as well, if that's cool with everyone. I'm not it's another one of those situations. If we just quickly go back onto what's happening locally, it's another situation today where we didn't take the previous session high. So I was really thinking that maybe we could come up here, get a move up into this VWAP, which is from the drop yesterday, the anchored VWAP from the drop yesterday, take out a couple of these highs. It hasn't played out. And for myself now, it would be just, I mean, I'm just going to keep it really simple here. If we come up, take that high, I'll take a short. If we take this low, I'll scalp long. If we take this low, I'll scalp long. If we take these lows, I'll scalp long. And that's like just the way that it is for me, in terms of like the counter trend moves. And then if I see opportunities to go with the trend again here, so potentially looking for a short at this stage, as we have started to break down from this market structure, then I will look to do that. But yeah, for me, within the range, it's just wherever there's liquidity. Yeah, this is the way that, like, the easy way to do it, because then you just go like quick little scalp and get out, quick little scalp, get out, quick little scalp and get out, and just like try and extract little bits of money from it as you go along. But if we're looking for a short here, then we also, as we haven't taken the highs and we're starting to roll over, I think that is something that you wouldn't like look to blindly take that now. But we've had a move up during the London session, we've had the move down, we've had a bit of a corrective move. So if we do start closing below here, then I think if we can get a move up just to take out this and then go short, that would be really nice. So then we can just go on to these timeframes. I'll just place a little alert. So we've had a drop, put in a range, see if it can take out, just quickly spike up somewhere. This is a bit messy though, because we're just hanging around VWAP. So yeah, we'll just let this develop for a little bit longer, because there's your POC, value area low. It's all very, very tight here at the moment. So I'm going to leave it. I was thinking that this could be a short, like where we are, because we've started to close below here, but I will give this a little bit more time. Place a couple of alerts just locally. Yeah, I'll let this play out, although I think we're probably coming down here now. Yeah. Now I just set the alert down here. And he's reloading. H, have you been looking at SMA VWAP bands lately? Have you been using them on higher time frames until now? I was wondering if you tried to use them in Confluence on multiple time frames, or if you think it would make any sense. I haven't, actually. I haven't put them on anything for a while. Let's have a look at them, because that would be interesting. It's going to go high time frames on here. Look at the delta. It's crazy how we're just going up on negative delta. It's mad. 4 hour. Four hours quite interesting. Just going to post again, like, because we're just looking at this. Without having like actually traded too much from it, especially on the 4 hour. I remember there was a period when we were looking at the 30-minute quite often. And I'll just go down onto that in a second, but I'm just going to screenshot this just so I can upload it and you can make your own conclusions on it, basically. So I just put this into my room, into the channel. 4 hour VWAP SMA bands. If anyone wants this indicator, it's available on the box. So anyone that hasn't seen this before, this is like something from earlier in the year that we that was just working really well, I think, through like this little range back in like February, March or something. It might have even been earlier. It might have been back. It's last year we were looking at a lot as well. But it went out of fashion for ourselves. We just I guess we just moved on to other stuff. But yeah, it's nice just to look at like general rotations around. It's a 200 SMA, isn't it? So this is just a rolling 200 period VWAP with standard deviations. And you can use it as like a VWAP looking at this, but also it's kind of like a Bollinger Band where you can see like expansion, contraction. And this also almost goes to show like what we've been saying again recently. Price has been contracted for so long, and it's very likely that we are entering into a phase where we're going to expand this in one direction or another. And interestingly enough, this isn't going to go back quite far enough, is it? Because Agra wasn't, yeah, not quite far enough. But every time we've had expansion, it's been to the opposite side. So here, you're riding the top of it. We start to expand and it's a move down. You're along the bottom of it, you expand and it's a move up. You expand, it's a move up. Just interesting, because we're at the bottom of it. So if we are going to expand, maybe that is more of a bullish bias as well. But I think that's maybe confirmation bias that we're looking at there. 30-minute time frame. Again, we're down at the bottom of it. This was the time frame that we always used to like. Just go on to the 1 hour just in case. They're on TradingView as well. Cool. I guess the nice thing about AgriTrade is because it's aggregated. So then you don't have to worry about which exchanges you're at the bands on and which exchange you're not at the bands on and all of those kind of things. See, this expansion definitely didn't happen to the opposite direction, but yeah. I'll just screenshot this one as well. Cool. Not doing much here. We'll wait for it to drop a bit lower. A couple of other things that I had prepared that I wanted to talk about was, first of all, BLX. Because again, the nice thing about the BLX is it's more of an aggregated type of thing. So if we're looking at the EMAs from this, then that 200 is, again, the same area that we are looking at it from on Bybit. So the thing with, oh no, Binance is good. The thing with Spot, oh no, they're all good. It's the VWAP that's different. So yeah, if we're looking at the BLX, we can see how, yeah, everything was just right on top of those moving averages, and we finally got that move down towards the 200, which for a market cycle is important. There has been many previous examples of that, where it acts as important support as you're continuing on a market cycle. The other thing on this chart was on the log scale. If we zoom all the way out, this is where we're at. So again, this is something I'd drawn a while ago. So we've got two parallel channels running, and we're just outside of both of them at the moment. This is a bit clearer on the weekly. Shows up a bit nicer on the weekly. So if you're going from highs to highs and using this, we can see how this just outside of this channel for now, which again, I'm going to post these things because they're things that I don't post often, but we're at a macro point in the chart. So I feel it's a good opportunity to share those. So does that mean it's all over for crypto because we've fallen out of a 10-year channel? Or are we just going to pop back inside and go to whatever ridiculous number it is next? That's obviously unlikely, but I thought it was interesting just how we're here and we're clearly going for a new, like you have like a little double market cycle type of thing here. Essentially this like diminished returns type of thing. So we had this one, the blue one, and then you get more shallow into the red one. And then we can go more shallow again, potentially into this one, which could give us a nice double bottom. Or if you're going to go, oh, whoa, what about them? That gives us we sweep sweep the lows. Again, if we are going to get this double bottom kind of thing, sweep the lows on January the 1st, 2024. But the other thing I did want to share on this one was put on the EMAs again and look at that 200 and exactly where we are. So right on top of everything. So everything coiling in together once again. So not only on the daily are we like super tight and everything's together and you've got that 200 there. It's the same on the weekly. I haven't looked at the monthly, but again, it's a similar situation, right? Then if we look at the total market caps, same kind of thing. Moving averages, like literally exactly where we are. All of them on the weekly. just dropped below it on that, and on the total two, not quite the same. But I'll just go back to the normal chart setup that we have, and then just looking at this, which is what we have on total market cap. So move up into the POC of the previous mini range. Previously, we had a drop down into the 618, gave us a bounce. If we are to drop a little bit further, this takes us to that like 23K target, I would imagine, on this, unless we get a situation where Bitcoin ranges and altcoins continue to dump, which could bring total down enough to get back down to like a $1 trillion test again. But what we do have there is little gaps within the chart just below liquidity. So this little range, so similar to what we did last time, where you put in this range before another move higher. Here, like, so after an impulse range, then like 2 moves higher with divergences that start to form at that point. And then again here, impulse, and then a couple more moves higher before a corrective move back down in to take the lows, which it did previously here. So this is something I'm aware of. I need to actually put an alert. I don't really need to put an alert because we'll know if price comes down there, but like $1 trillion even would be very obviously, like, if we ever come back there, that's a big thing. And then it's just a repeat of what we did previously earlier in the year. And then on total two, similar situation, but not as clean, obviously, but we already have taken out those lows, which is, so if we're looking at this, and this is just the altcoin market, where impulse, the mini range, and then alts, it was Bitcoin that did all the rest of the stuff. And then again, similar here, like Bitcoin was the one that was leading through this distribution up at the highs. But we have come down and just taken out those lows from the altcoin market. And then there's just this little gap, OB, and at that 702 here. Where did we come last time? So yeah, the 618 to 702 played out. So again, there's a similar situation, right? Similar kind of correction, although a lot more like longer that this has been playing out. So if this does act as support, the fact that we've had this longer correction, you would assume would be enough to take you to new highs again, and just to continue this trend onwards. And you're breaking down if you look at it from that way, but if you look at total market cap, put on a little trend line. Where's your anchored VWAP? So we are on it. We are on the anchored VWAP for total market cap. And make this look all like clean and nice. Interestingly enough as well, that first little gap that was there on the chart from the daily time frame below liquidity was there, because that was part of the same candle. And then on this one, yeah, you've got a gap between, there's these lower ones as well, but the first one that we come to. Just throw on the 200 EM8. Oops. Make that a bit cleaner. Total market cap. Macro chart. Posted this one as well. And then Bitcoin dominance. So it's deleted now. But previously we were looking for, I did have some lines on this chart, like literally just this morning, that was looking for like something like this and then to come down and take these lows. And I'd still be looking for something similar on that. So like Bitcoin dominant chart in this range at the moment, within this higher time frame range. There's a 200 EMA on there. I don't know if that's valid or if that's useful or whatever on here either. And if we're going to go anchored view up again from the year, or is that over here? Same point. And if we go from the lows down there. So I'll share this one too. BTC.D. So yeah, any questions on these like higher time frame daily charts? Anything more that you'd like to look at, or yeah, any thoughts, anything that you think is interesting, maybe anything that you guys have seen recently? This is just for me having a look this morning and late last night, just going over exactly like where we are, because I think it is nice just to zoom out, relax a little bit, get a perspective of the market in general, not just like, okay, this is what we're looking to trade today, but this is where we are in the cycle, and this is like backing up the bigger plan that we may have. I think it's important to look at alternatives as well, so we'll just start to look at that in a minute. But as for the plan that I've had for the last couple of months, I just wanted to do a little bit to make sure we're still okay on that, which I think at the moment everything's looking good for now, and we'll see how it plays out, unless the SEC steps in and decides to be a dick about it again. No one has any thoughts? No one has any questions? Time for China to step up. Yeah. When will they announce that they are lifting the ban on crypto mining? That will be the one, won't it? We do have a poor daily high from yesterday. This is something that we spoke about in the trading room with Randall last week. So when I joined in on that one with Randall, that high, I think we figured out that it never taken more than like 4 days or something to take out. which is maybe a bit of a stretch on this occasion. So this, yeah, it was this one here. Last time we had like a drop that had basically like no move up on the day. 1, 2, 3, fourth day took it out. Here, next day took it out. Here, the next day you took it out. Oh, we could be looking. Are there any more here? Oh, this one took a long time. This one took a long time. But eventually you took it out, right? I now have limit orders set below, by the way, just for where we are. So as like a swing strategy, I haven't started going in yet. But I do have limit orders below the lows from yesterday. I know spot took out the lows the second time. So yeah, spot came and took out those lows, but it was during the same session, so I'm not so sure I trust them yet. Oh, and that answers the question. So yeah, BGWA. So that's my entry strategy. Is at the moment, I just have limit orders down here, 25K to 25,300. That's been it, like so that was what we had been talking about previously. I'd like to think we come down and take it and get filled on those. But yeah, for me, that's just how it is. That's my strategy for now. The only thing I think that would change that would be any major sign of strength where we could start to use this as your invalidation for a swing trade. And like, remember, timing this isn't going to be that important, because if this range is to be a low, I am personally targeting, I think, a minimum of 38K on this one. So it's 38, 42, and 50. Still, like, so just to show, 38 takes us back in here. Unless we're just going to get a lower SFP of these highs. So yeah, that's the other one to be aware of, is just, we'll go targets. So 1. In fact, let me just draw it like this. And let's use this one, because that's actually the proper one. Right. Dotted for liquidity. Then 38 was this range PSC. 39 on there. But if we stay on the daily, and we'll be looking at that OB. And then if you're going to get real bullish, then we have the 50K, which has confluence with the 618. But I would imagine you'd have to go through another corrective phase before we get up here. And at this stage now, maybe we're running out of time. Like next halving being in May next year, so we're less than a year away from that. Is there time to get up and down before then? To here, to correct somewhere down here, and then move again? Maybe. But yeah, this, when you look at it like this, right? And we're thinking we can have a fairly tight stop on this, because if we start to get back inside this range, then I believe we're going to drop down to 23. So for me, you can go fairly tight stop, and you've got 10R on your first take profit, and the one that I think is probably the most likely, which is 38 at this stage. I was thinking 50 when I was going like, but this is taking a long time now. But that to me seems reasonable, right? You can just go on another little run. This is crazy impulsive, but unlikely that we get anything quite that much, but you get the gist of it. You get the idea. So that, just for that simple reason alone, that's why it makes sense to me. And even if we have to wait, even if we don't take the lows again and you end up with an entry that's higher up here, and you wait for a sign of strength again, taking out the maybe yesterday's high, and we're back inside the range, you still get a solid trade off of that, where you can use that as the invalidation. And then you can just go, okay, cool, we're back up here, we're holding long. And if this doesn't play out, we wait for 23 on the higher time frames. And at that point, you have to start seriously looking at a double bottom. But for that to happen, yeah, something like really quite serious probably has to happen. Yeah, that's why it's no rush for me, because even if that's an entry, double bottom end of year, maybe. See, you've honestly, you'd still have time to get up and down and do a double bottom before then, because if this is going to do a double bottom, we're gonna hit that in August, September. There's no way that this can drag out and 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 drag out that long. Because when moves down happen, like that could take like 5% move down, another one that takes you down here, another one, it probably in one day you'd go from 23 to take out those lows, you'd maybe have a little bounce for a bit, then you'd do the rest. So there would easily be time to do that, but that would be mad. That would be crazy. Hi there, welcome. Just a note, just on Zoom as standard, it when you type a message, it just goes to hosts and panelists. But if you want like other people to be aware of what you're asking when you're in the chat, just change that to everyone, and then it's easier. But he said, new to Taurus, welcome. Maybe you talked about it. What are your thoughts on 23K if we get another push down? So for me, I think that's, so someone mentioned this earlier, like, isn't this where we are at now too obvious? I would say to this one, it's a little bit obvious, but this is the plan that we've had for ages. But for me, 23K is too obvious. Because that then literally is exactly what we did before, which is like, really, like, are we really going to play out the exact same pattern twice within this trend? I find that to be highly unlikely. And even if it was, yes, we'd get a bounce probably back up to this level, but I would 100% look to short that at that stage, because I think at that point, too much. This has been going on for, like, the nice thing about this one is it happened all in one go. It was very, very quick. You just dropped, you settled, and then had a really nice bounce out of it. This one's just taken such a long time that if we now lose this level, that's got to be a short if you come and back test it again. So yeah, for me, that is an area that I'm interested in. So it's green for a reason, I guess. But I wouldn't be looking at that stage as, let's take it up here. I'd be looking at it from here and then come down and going towards the double bottom scenario after that. Just because this is like, it was easy to get through this because it, like, there wasn't really that much going on. It's just a couple of weeks shakeout before continuation, whereas this is like, imagine trying to fight back through that whole range. If we lose this, trying to fight back through that is just going to be crazy, really, really tough. Like, if we can get through that, then how are we going to get through that? It would give us a daily RSI divergence though. Let's have a look. What you mean? How would it give that? If we're going to go to 23K, that RSI would go back down to. I don't see any divergence or anything, or any way that we could get some. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure what you're on that one. Do we have 4-hour divergences? Nope. So this is something to watch. Like if we do bounce and this starts to recover a bit, look for the 4-hour bullish divergence. If we do come down and take these lows, we probably will come down and take these lows. I still think that's likely, but maybe then we can start to get some divergence. Although there's certainly not really any sign of recovery on this just yet. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, if this was a move down and you got this is too long. I would never play divergence like that. Like, I look at divergence within, like, it's divergence within the move itself. Like, this is a completely different phase of the market for me. It's the same with this. Like, if you were going, oh look, we've got like hidden bullish divergence here. Nah, not for me. I do it like I do with CVD. So I use the RSI like I would with CVD. So I'm looking for the same phase. So let's say in this example, if you have the RSI recovers, makes a higher low here, and you've actually got, like, you're doing that and price does this, that I would pay attention to, but I wouldn't, and it's not something I use all that often either. But I wouldn't, let's say, like price does this and we start moving around and we have a little range that forms and the RSI is coming back up here and doing this, and then it does this and price just dumps and you make a higher high here. I wouldn't be so interested in that. It's too much time has passed. But that's just how I've always used it. I don't even know if that's right. I don't know like the way that you're supposed to use an RSI. I just know that when it happens, like I explained it, it's often quite nice. Like you got an example of it here. So this is what I mean, like same phase of the market, the same move, and you just lose the momentum and it creates a drop. So the 4 hours, great for that. Same again here. Divergence. And then you put in a distribution. Lows down here, you get some. Any reason why you don't like using market cipher, leaving dots aside? I mean, for divergences, just because I've never used it. I don't know it. Like that's, yeah, honestly, the only reason. I've never used it. I don't know how it works. I don't have an interest in learning it. So I'm not going to say it's bullshit because maybe it's good. But I've never learned it and I've never used it. So I'm not going to. I don't think it's like, I don't like the dots. I certainly don't like, I have no hate for any style of trading. Like I'm here using moving averages, and there's probably been plenty of times that I've been like, moving averages are bullshit. But it's like, honestly, there's people like institutions will be just like, oh my God, look, the 200 EMA and 200 SMA, and they'll be all in if you go into a 200 on a trending move on a daily time frame. They'll be like, oh my God. And like the RSI, don't use it that often. Not the best indicator. EMAs, not the best. Lagging. Market cipher, lagging. I think that's the thing. For myself, it's like indicators in general. I just have a bit of a like attitude towards, unless it's a VWAP, because they all lag. The thing I like about a VWAP is because it's volume based, and it's not just some algorithm. It's like taking into account like everything that's happened within the market. I like a VWAP because I understand why it does what it does. I don't really understand how a moving average could be that important when it's just like, oh, that's the candle, so I'm just going to average out that candle, not taking into account any of the volume, any of the trading that took place within that. So I think that's why for myself, like I like the volume-based indicators, the ones that are less lagging and more leading in nature, and actually take the data from within the candle, not just everything else. So yeah. I really need to set like change this default, because every time I just reset my chart, it goes back to the monthly only and gives me the label. I just want that as the default, that one. Just a simple daily. And I want that as there we go. So now when I switch from that to that, what is it? Why does it give me? Oh, right, yeah. It does give me the RSI. It's normal, but yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's all about probabilities. So you can use any style of trading you like if it works for you. Do you ever use ADX, DX? What's that? If you were to only trade daily, weekly, naked VWAPs and nothing else, you'd be in quite good profits by now. Yeah, that's the thing. Like you can, and this is what it's been like more recently, and why sometimes on like a day like today, I'm just like, okay, cool, place alerts here, because I know I've got like at least for a scalp, it's like they always give a reaction. Like, well, not always, but you get the idea, right? Like that this is just the, if you just want to like be super simple, not have to worry about what else is going on, look, at some point today we're going to take out one of these and it's going to give a trade. If you take out that, it's probably going to give a short. If you take out that, it's probably going to give a long. You just want to get in and out quickly before that happens. Edwin, good morning. Yeah, so trades for myself. I mean, you could be short here from daily open because I do think that we've just lost this market structure and we're on the way down. But yeah, just waiting for lows, scalp long off of liquidity for now. Just quick ones. Not expecting big moves off of this because I think we come down and take the lows, and then I have limit orders placed below. So that's like, I'm just really simple today. Because there's enough like little pivot points within this range to trade them. I'm not bothered about like golden pocket or whatever, because you've not actually made a higher high, so you're using fibs from this, which is bleh. So not using that. The POC today, like take your pick. It could be like any of like 6 different levels, depending on what chart you're looking at. The VWAP is just here. Like this is the first time where there's been a bit of confluence, and maybe to look for a short here, but because it's all internal, I just like, is that thing, I don't like opening positions on anything internal, because it's just as likely that you go to VWAP and continue down for me that it is that you're doing like a little bottom and this is going to be a higher low and we're going to come up and take this high. So I just don't like, this is like a 50-50 type of thing for now. ADX, average directional index. I have never used this, no. ADX and DI. Let me just go back. Would this work on BLX, ADX? This one? What does it mean? What is it? What is it? I don't know what it is. Well, what is an average directional index? What are these ones? Is like DI, like the fuck? How could it be like putting a high when it put in a low? Putting a and then it flips and it's like, this makes no sense to me. Oh, right, yes. I've seen Randall use this. But again, I don't understand it. It's like asking me to do analysis on like market cipher. I've never seen it, like, or never had it on my chart before. So I can't comment on that. I will have to I'll have to get a lesson from Randall on this one. Okay. I think anyway, on that note, we'll probably wrap it up for today. I mean, we've covered quite a lot of stuff. I know there's altcoins as well. I will, yeah, I think to start looking at across altcoins now will take, like, which ones do we look at? How are we going to look at it? For myself, I am going to do a scan of like where we are really, but like basically over like the next 2 to 3 days, and I'm just gradually going to go through some stuff that I like, as long as we can stay within this range here for a few days, which I'm really hoping that when we come into those fib times next week and we've got news next week, that's when things pick up. I'd love just to see this just hang out down here now. Hang out, start to get people closing out of long positions for like no other reason than they don't like holding underwater positions, that kind of thing. So if we can just hang out for a while, then that gives us little trades to have here and there, but also gives us the time that we probably need just to start getting through everything, or that I need just to start getting through everything. So I might do that as more of like a public stream, just start charting up some stuff, looking at where lows are, looking at whether we're looking for a lower low or a higher low on some assets, seeing which ones are looking the most preferable, the ones that maybe can outpace Bitcoin, because some of these, if you get a bounce from here, there are going to be altcoins that outpace, in the same way that you're going to get altcoins that are just flat and crap, like Link or whatever. It's been all year just flats doing nothing. But yeah, I will be having a look over that, but that's like a few hours of work, so I will get to that gradually over the coming days, as long as we can stay here. Otherwise I've got to readjust all of my stuff again. Cool. All right, thank you everyone. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that was I mean, it's nice just to go back over the higher time frame stuff. So if you did join in late, I'd say do watch this one back, because it's not like we haven't used this as like, okay, this is what we're looking to trade right now. It's more of just this is where we are, and this is why the plan that's been just kind of a recap on the whole cycle, and where we are. So yeah, being aware of the levels that we have above and below. But yeah, it was a good one. Thank you, everyone. It will be on box in roughly 20 minutes once it's all processed. So yeah, if you did join in late, then make sure you give it a watch. Thank you. Bye-bye.